Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Welcome to another eBay video. In tonight's video, we're going to be discussing buyers that do not want to take no for an answer. I'm also going to be talking more about the title of the video, eBay sellers leaving Bonanza in droves. We're going to talk more about those darn geriatrics. I'm going to do a cutaway where I'm going to show you two people that are possibly the most dim-witted that I've come across in quite some time. And for me to come out and say that, that really means something, because as you know, I meet all the screwballs on eBay Motors. So that being said, let's talk firstly about some updates, and then we'll get into tonight's topics. Firstly, I'm happy to report that I will be posting another New York City exploration video this Sunday, because I went out last Sunday. Once again, it was cloudy, it was nasty, it was cold, as you will see by the way I was dressed. Once again, I went into a very sussy area. And occasionally, something unplanned will happen because you have to understand the facts. You don't see too many middle-aged guys like me in these neighborhoods, so I'm bound to attract attention. Whether it's the right kind of attention or not, you'll just have to wait till Sunday to see. So tune in Sunday, and I hope you'll enjoy my exploration video. I don't think I'll be able to go out Sunday to do one for next week because it's supposed to rain for the next, I think, 6 straight days. So yeah, there's that. All right, let's get into the eBay section of the video. Firstly, let's address the title. eBay sellers leaving Bonanza in droves. I don't really think I've ever talked much about Bonanza on here, because it's not a Bonanza channel. Bonanza, in my opinion, is finished. It's as good as done. They've screwed themselves with their greed. They changed their fee structure recently so that anybody that's got a Bonanza store with over a certain amount of items will have to pay a minimum of $20 per month, even if you don't sell a thing. Now, I don't know how you guys have done on Bonanza. It's a ghost town. It's a morgue. There's the old saying, you get what you pay for. And that holds true with Bonanza. Since you didn't pay until you sold something, I didn't mind it being a ghost town. I would make a sale once in a blue moon. I don't know of a single person who did well on Bonanza. However, when they made the announcement earlier this month, they were going to start charging, $20 per month. Bang. Bang. The eBay sellers abandoned ship, and so did Cute Joey. I am officially done on Bonanza. There is nothing they can say or do to get me back. Even if they reversed their policy and said, we made a mistake, we'll go back to the way it was, everybody can come back, it would be all that work for nothing. The place is a ghost town. Nobody buys there. Nobody even heard of it. Sometimes I get surveys on eBay where they want us to check off what various online sites we sell on. And they always have a list. Macari, Whatnot, etc. Facebook Marketplace. I don't think I've ever seen a check mark for Bonanza. They don't even have it listed. Nobody goes there. Bonanza is done. Game, set, match. It's over. Expect them to go belly up very soon. Or maybe some other online site will buy them. But I really don't see them doing that because it's not worth anything. Right? So yeah. Now, I want to get into, as my first eBay topic, two people that are dumber than dumb. One person tried to scam me. The other person is just plain stupid. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to a cutaway, show you both these people what they did, and we'll come back, talk about it a little. Let me now show you the two stupidest eBay buyers I've dealt with in as long as I can remember. The first one is right here. He opened an item not as described claim against me, and the reason on the bottom here, look, arrived damaged. And in the description he said it's scratched and cracked. You can clearly see right in the title here it says scratched and cracked. But just to make it totally clear, let me show you the listing itself. Right in the title, scratched, cracked, and in the condition, daily driver, beater condition with many scratches, crack, and a paint issue and all that. And this 42-year-old idiot from Illinois obviously is not able to read. And he has zero feedback and joined eBay specifically to buy this item. Unbelievable but true. Thankfully, eBay closed the case in my favor, and eBay gave this scammer back his full money and let him keep the item as well. My second stupidest person in a long time was this particular person. I have this as a single item. You can buy one, you can buy two, you can buy three. The default, of course, reverts back to one. So when this guy came, he manually changed the quantity from 1 to 4, wiping me out totally. And when he gets them, he wants to return them and says they're the wrong size, they don't fit. I cannot fully comprehend how anybody would manually change the quantity from 1 to 4 before even verifying it's the right item for his vehicle. Once again, welcome to the world of an eBay Motors seller. Let's get back to the video now. The first guy who bought the Nissan hub from me surprised me because when I Googled his name and address, he's only 42 years old, which is a mere baby. But he did have a very foreign sounding name and he had zero feedback. And I remember when I made the sale, the warning flags went right up. I said, of all the people on eBay, why is this zero feedbacker joining eBay just to buy my item when there's hundreds of other eBayers who have the same item in better condition, albeit for more money, and there's also a bunch of China sellers that are selling the cheap replicas that look nice but break the minute you try and install them. I said, this guy's got zero feedback, he's illiterate, there's going to be a problem, but I never thought he would claim item not as described like he did. Thankfully, Concierge, sided with me because I have it in the title, which I suggest you do too. And they're even going to kick it up to trust and safety because it seems kind of suspect, they said, that somebody would join eBay and go right to the scam button. So we'll see what happens with that. But nonetheless, as far as I'm concerned, I get to keep my money. But eBay did pay the scammer back his money and let him keep the item, which I don't think is a good thing, but they seem to think it is. The second guy is just plain a moron. A moron. I don't know why anybody would manually change the quantity from 1 to 4 without first checking his wheel to see if it's the right cap. I had all the information, part number, everything in there, and I knew that was going to be a problem because that's a dog item too. Occasionally somebody will buy one. If a tire shop messes one up, they'll buy one. I've never had anybody buy 4. So I knew this guy was dirty. And he's as dirty as they come. Trying to put a square peg in a round hole. So yeah, there's that. Next item of interest is buyers that don't want to take no for an answer. Here's what happened on Thursday. I woke up to a message that came in the middle of the night. And really and truthfully, I guess I should have realized I was going to be dealing with a nut. He asked me if the particular item, which was for a Camaro, would fit his Monte Carlo. And I said, listen, I don't suggest you buying this item because although it would fit, it will not look the same. Okay? About 8 hours go by, he writes back to me. First message. Are you sure? It looks exactly the same to me. Then he sends me a picture of his wheel with his current ring on it, and he says it looks the same, but to a trained eye, it looks totally different. Then, before I can even address that, another message comes in, and he says, will this ring buff out if I buy it from you? And the answer is no, because it's made of dull spun aluminum, which is the way it's designed. It clearly says this in the listing. This guy's a freaking nightmare waiting to happen. I wrote back to him and I said, listen, for some reason, you don't want to take no for an answer. I said, you asked me these questions. I answered them as best I could. I told you not to buy the item, and you're still not letting it go. I said, I'm blocking you for my own safety. I said, it's nothing personal, but you do not want to take no for an answer. You're blocked, buddy. And I blocked him. Simple as that. I have no regrets about blocking him. I probably should have done it earlier. But that's one less to worry about. From the geriatric scene, I have this 86-year-old man, 86, from Wisconsin, that has tried calling me 3 times. He can try 30 times. I'm not picking up, okay? No way. If he has a question about something he bought or even wants to buy, ask it in eBay messages. I don't go for this off-site crap. Even if they ask a legitimate question, will this fit my car? Suppose I say no, it won't fit your car, and the guy goes and buys it anyway, and then tries to do an item not as described. Cute Joey's the guy that's going to be eating crow. I don't like that. I will not take his call or any of these calls. I won't take them. Everything's going to stay on the eBay platform. I can't tell you how many of you guys have written to me through my email and said, Joe, I will not answer any out-of-state calls. And I don't blame you one bit. Nothing good can come from it. Don't answer them unless it's a surrounding state. Okay? If it's a surrounding state, that's a whole different story. It might be legit. But otherwise, no, not happening. So there's that. Sales this week, sadly, were slower than I would have liked. I ran a sale over the weekend. You know, it helped a little, but nowhere near what I was looking for. I'm not sure what's got people skittish. It seems to be that most eBay sellers are telling me they're slow, but there are a few that claim to be busy. And the ones that are always busy are the ones that sell collectible things like sports cards, for instance. They always seem to be doing well. And the sneaker sellers, they seem to be doing well too. I think they're dealing with people with discretionary money that have extra money and have no problem dropping it on the niceties of life. But people who are spending on necessities or something for their car, they are just plain tough to deal with. And that's the truth. I got another neutral feedback this week. Welcome to eBay Motors. Once again, the person wasn't really dissatisfied. In fact, he said some positive things in the comment. But basically what he said was he felt there were more scratches on the item than appeared in the picture. You know, that's up to him. Maybe he should have looked closer, maybe not. But then he said He was very happy with the price, and he's not going to return it because he got a good deal. Yet, he left neutral feedback anyway. I did not even call eBay to try and get it removed because I know they won't. It's his prerogative to say how the transaction went. I'm telling you something. The way the feedback system is set up right now, it's going to be the downfall of eBay. Just about every seller I know complains about the one-sided feedback system on eBay. The powers that be are aware of your feelings and my feelings. It's like water off a duck's back. They don't care. The feedback system definitely needs to be retooled. And every time they send me one of those little surveys, I always fill it out and tell them all item not as described cases should be able to be bound and sent up to arbitration when necessary. For instance, if you sell somebody a blue sweater with a button missing, and they open item not as described case and say, he sent me a blue sweater and there was a button missing. The way it is right now, the seller gets that. You pay the shipping both ways. However, if there was an arbitration button and you clicked it, anybody with half a brain would see that you did nothing wrong and you would win. It's not going to happen though. Not because it would cost eBay extra money to hire customer service reps to do this binding arbitration. It wouldn't. Because think of all the calls they would save from people like Cute Joey who call up, like I called up with the guy with the Nissan. That's what I did. I called up. Had there been an arbitration button, I would never have had to call. It would have been handled online in Cute Joey's favor. But they want to work like it's the Stone Age. It's 1995 again. So we just have to play the hand we're dealt. So guys, that's basically all I have to say today. I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you found it helpful, informative, and maybe entertaining. Dare I say entertaining? Hopefully you'll tune in Sunday for my exploration video, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hope you make a lot of money on eBay. Rock on and peace.